Might have to carry today.
I'll do that anyway.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll shut off that music and we'll close that. And we'll go to music and I'll put up the title card and we will get started. You guys all sick?
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did you have another word for me?
I did put it in chat. We'll do like one last one. Hang on, let me just copy that. Let me copy that. Paste. There you go. Word 2 is in chat.
Shropshire.
Oh, close. Shropshire.
Shropshire. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, because there's no E there.
Yeah.
Shropshire. Sounds like
Shropshire.
something you got to do to a sheep.
Sounds like a disease, to be fair. I've got Shropshire.
We got to go Shropshire that sheep so we can sell the wool. Seashells, Shropshires by the seashore.
What?
All right. Here comes the intro music. Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is February 16th, 2017, and we are on episode 65 of Run, Jump, Stomp. I am Bill. That guy right over there is Zap. How's it going, Zap?
All good, my friend, well, except for my banging cold. If you want a cold, I'm giving it away for free.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to take you up on that. So let's go ahead and get started. This week we are talking about Steam getting a red light district.
Ooh, sounds fun. Zelda and the Season Pass.
Let's see. Rocket League gets more frames.
Get ready. No Man's Sky update.
We're done with the podcast. Sony subtracts.
And better have a smartphone handy.
Those stories and more on this episode of Run, Jump, Stomp. Stick around. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. The first story today is that Steam is canceling their Greenlight system, which if you didn't know about that before, basically it was a way for them to crowdsource whether or not they wanted to put a game on Steam, and instead they're going with a new system where anybody can put a game on Steam as long as they pay the fee. And they haven't decided on what the fee is yet. But this new system is either going to be made or broken based on what that fee is, because it could be $100 or it could be $5,000 or something like that. And they really need to find the sweet spot, because if they don't, what's going to happen is that the big problem is that, first off, if it's too cheap, then people are going to put way too much crap on there. So it'll dilute the stuff that's on Steam currently. And if it's too expensive, then indie developers won't be able to put their games on there because they don't have the money that the big companies do. So previously, Greenlight was, you would apply for Greenlight and then Steam would put you in the Greenlight zone. It's a fun way to put it, I guess. And then people would vote on whether or not they thought that your game should be on Steam. Now anybody's going to be able to put a game on Steam. What do you think about that?
It scares me a little bit, if I'm honest. That's quite a scary thought, that any Tom, Dick and Harry can put a game on Steam. I mean, I think you're right on the fee. The fee's got to be balanced. And Eskimo Princess says in chat they should make it slide according to its budget. Not a bad shout. I mean,
oh, that's a good idea.
That's a really cool, a way of doing it. If the game costs $100 billion to make, I don't know, just put a figure out there, it should be relative to the game's budget. But then are you going to get a load of 99p games on Steam, which I don't want to see. That's
yeah, you don't want it to be you don't want anybody to be able to put something on there
No,
because somebody's going to
it'll
put
just get
like the.
flooded.
I've made a calculator app for a phone before, and I could put that on Steam, and that's just going to crowd out the all the good stuff that's there and make it harder to find.
I mean, there's been some good stuff from Greenlight. I know that from personal experience. Greenlight's not a bad thing, or wasn't, I don't think, overly bad because the community voted if that game should be put onto Steam. And it's obviously different from early access. Early access is what bugs me more than anything. But Greenlight, I think, was quite a stable way of doing it. I know that it had problems, but what scares me is this opens the door to developers. I can't even think of the developer last year who tore his game down. We did speak about it on the podcast. Steam removed all his games,
Right.
and
Wasn't he
he
like
tried to
buying
sue.
reviews or something?
He was buying reviews, and he was going to sue Steam users.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. That's right.
yeah, I can't even think of the company. You'd have more of that, and that's what scares me about Steam. Steam is a great platform for buying your games and having them all in one place, and it's a nice way of doing things. But this opens a floodgate to potential rubbish. And you see it on app stores of iPhone and Apple,
Oh, yeah.
Amazon app stores. You see these cheap, nasty imitations of other games, and they're just trying to catch on the bandwagon of success. Games where they've been made in a game engine like Unity, for instance, and they just dropped in props and stuff from another game and things. So if Steam price it right, I like the idea. It should be on the budget of the game. 10% of your budget, again, as Eskimo says, that's a really good shot. Again, 10% of the game's budget. If they're that confident the game is going to be good, you're going to lay down that figure. You're going to lay down that figure that Steam are asking for.
I think
Because
10% of the budget's a little crazy though. Maybe if there's a max, as long as there's a maximum on it.
Yeah,
because
I see where you're coming from on that one.
Somebody who I don't know, maybe they kickstarted their game and they've got a budget of $500,000, putting that much on there, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, if there's a maximum, that's fair. Like I say, if the game's going to sell well and they're that confident, then you're going to make that money back quite comfortably. You would hope, but it's a very strange. I think it's a very strange move from Valve when you've got other things bubbling. In the background of Valve personally, like the CS:GO, Lotto stuff, and all that kind of things, and they're removing what's I thought was quite a stable system. And yeah, it scares me that we're going to see a lot of tat, a lot of rubbish come onto Steam when this goes through.
I like the idea of making it more open, but at the same time, it just makes me nervous about what kind of stuff is going to end up on Steam. Because even as it is right now, there's a lot of times I open up Steam and I'm like, really? There's a game on Steam. I'm not joking. Okay? This is not a joke. This is true. There is a game on Steam called Bloody Boobs.
Yep.
Like, how did that get on there? If that's already on there, you know what? I've changed my mind. If that game is already on there, how much worse could it get? I'm going to regret saying that phrase right there. How much worse could it get?
I'm now looking at Bloody Boots, which is even worse to say on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm totally going to isolate that out and and put that on the soundboard.
Reviews. I want to know. I'm now looking at directly on Steam. I want to know who sat through this and reviewed it to give it mixed reviews. So that means it's not good, or it's kind of average. That scares me about the type of person that would even consider.
Hey man, you don't know. Snow's got a good point. Maybe it's got great gameplay and just bad marketing. I doubt it.
You want to see the pictures?
I don't want to see the pictures. I've seen the pictures before when it came out, like when people were complaining about it.
I don't understand why. This is very true, Eskimo. It's been out for, and this is a very good point. All right, this is the same thing. This kind of game, we don't understand how this gets onto Steam. The review system is something else, and Eskimo brings this up in chat. It's been out for 6 days, got 217 reviews. I mean, let's just be honest with the words in there. I mean, anybody who wants to search that word, there you go, finds a game and can play all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same point, you know, this is the kind of stuff that will get let through if Steam do not balance the budget of how much the company has to put down to allow their game onto Steam. You know, and that's the kind of thing that they've really got to get right, because I don't want any more of this. This has got a special promotion offer ends. I mean, this is £1.99, so about $3. $3 for you, Run Jump, to buy whatever this is. And this says it all about everything that is wrong with Steam. So,
all right, well, let's check out the next story. What did you add to the docket for us?
Well, I added the fact that Zelda has a new title, which I've now branded it. Zelda and the Season Pass. See what I did
there? Well, okay. So if it's a Zelda game, it would be Zelda Oracle of Seasons Pass.
Sorry, yeah, okay. So basically, going forwards, one Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC pass announced, and it's one of the cheapest DLC passes around. But I'm not a fan of these season passes. I don't know what your opinion is on these. I expect you'll be buying it personally. That from the way I see it, I think that you'll go out and purchase it after I finish what I'm saying, because you can't buy this DLC separately. The only way you can get this content is by buying the season pass.
Yeah.
So they've kind of gone, well, if you want this, you will buy the season pass, and I think that's why it's coming with a slightly reduced rate over other season passes. Average season pass price in the UK is £30, which works out to probably about $35 to $40 for yourselves. This is releasing with a $20 price tag, which is, again, I can say is cheap. So it's starting off right, but I don't like the fact that it's coming with a season pass. I was hoping Nintendo wouldn't go down this kind of road. I know it's not the first time they've ventured in the season pass. Mario Kart 8, I believe, had a season pass.
It did, and it was the best value per dollar that I think I've ever spent on a video game. I think it was, so it did come. They had, well, it wasn't. You could do a season pass with it. They had 2 DLC packs, and you could buy each one separate for $8, or you could get them both together for, I think it was 14, right? And I ended up buying them both together, and like the amount of, like, they added in for each one had 4 new courses to race on, and they both had 2 new characters, I think. I thought it was and they had a bunch of new cars as well. I felt like it was a really good deal, and not only that, but by paying for it ahead of time, the second one felt free. And I know it wasn't free. I know I was paying for it, but it felt free, and I liked that. Now, you said that you suspect I'm going to get this. I don't know if I am.
Well, I'll explain what's in the season pass, and we'll see if it helps your persuasion. I mean, I'll ask you in a minute what your personal opinion is on the season pass thing, because it's kind of one of those grey areas in gaming where do you follow companies like Ubisoft have recently with like Rainbow Six Siege, and not do the whole season pass road, and Titanfall 2, a big by the big game by which was published by EA, who are renowned for season passes. EA mostly put a lot of season passes in all of their games. But Titanfall 2 didn't have it. You know, the developers said they don't want to put it in there. The multiplayer modes and the maps and stuff are all for free, which I think is a very good way of doing it. You know, if you want to stick, I don't know, a cosmetic skin shop inside the game, again, that seems to be a way of going, then fair enough. But should content be charged for? That's something we can get onto. The season pass comes with an expansion pass bonus. Is 3 new treasure chests found in the Great Plateau. Contains useful items. It also includes exclusive in-game clothing. So it sounds like the first one, which is coming out in March 3rd, doesn't really have a lot to offer.
Well,
DLC Pack 1.
No.
Sorry, go on.
Okay, so that's what you get if you just pre-order the season pass.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
DLC Pack 1 adds a new Cave of the Trials challenge, a new hard mode, an additional map feature, whatever that means, and DLC Pack 2 is new original story, new dungeon, and additional challenges. So, if it comes with enough content to warrant $20, £18, okay, fair enough. But what I don't like about this is you can't buy that separately. There might be nothing that you want in DLC 2, but you're tied into DLC 2 because you've got to buy the whole lot. That's kind of my argument with this one. It feels like you can't really as a choice as a consumer you have choice, and then with this it doesn't feel like you have that choice. Maybe that's me just being a little bit too
So you would just prefer that it be two content things that are $10 each.
Exactly that. Charge a season price. Charge me a season pass price. Charge me slightly different. A slightly cheaper price for buying it as a bundle. But if I don't want DLC Pack 2 because it doesn't offer me anything that's going to get me any more content out of the game, I squeezed 100 hours out of the game, say, and DLC 1 has a hard mode where I just want to experience the original game on hard mode, fair enough. But DLC Pack 2, if it doesn't offer me anything, and I don't want it, it's not going to bring me back to the game, then I don't need it. Give me that option to have that kind of separate tier option. That's my argument with it, and you see that with a lot of expansion DLC with DLC, not expansion pack. DLC out there that are involved in season passes, you still can buy them separately. Again, Rainbow Six Siege has the option. It has you can buy certain classes, but at a slightly more expensive rate if you buy them separately. If you buy them as a bundle. I don't want them all. I can buy them at my own kind of cost, and that's a consumer. That's a choice. So that's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, I mean, when this came out, I immediately recorded a video and put it up on YouTube about this. So like I'm not going to go on too long. If you really want to know my full thoughts, just watch the video that I just linked. But just the quick part of it. I agree. I think it'd be better if they allowed people to buy each one separately. But then again, isn't most season passes like $50?
Well, yeah. I think from what I'm seeing recently, the season pass trend is about £30. So I don't know what that is in translation to.
Well, I'm okay. So 18. This is £18. So
yeah, that's a lot cheaper than most.
Yeah, that's passes. That's very cheap, and
yes.
I trust Nintendo to give us enough content to justify it. I mean, if you look at it, the hard mode, I don't know what that means, but traditionally, this is a thing that I think a lot of people are going to be upset with. A lot of times, Zelda games come with a hard mode where you put Zelda in as your name when you create a character, and if you've beat the game, it loads up. It basically rearranges the map into a different way. Having that behind DLC might upset some people. The additional map feature, my guess, I mean, I'm just guessing at what this is, but I'm guessing it's because I've already traversed this world 58 million times going back and forth. My guess is it's probably like a teleport feature or something like that. Maybe, but I have no idea. I mean, I can't understand what else they would mean by an additional map feature. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it just... For Zelda, I haven't played many Zelda games, and that's my next purchase for my 2DS. I'm planning to get a Zelda game because I need to experience the whole Zelda thing. I know you rave about the Zelda games. They need to know why. As someone who's never really played Zelda, I need to understand this kind of thing with Zelda. I can't, and from what I know about the game, I can't understand what you'd want to put into a season pass. Personally,
well, that's the thing is most Zelda games are fairly linear. So the idea of them adding in it, like DLC Pack 2 has new original story and a new dungeon, and I'm like, well, what if I've already beaten the bad guy? What if I've already finished the game? Adding this new stuff, does it go back? Because this is the thing about this is the first Zelda that is an open world game where you can just go wherever you want and it doesn't matter what order you go in. It's going to be really weird to see how Eiji Onuma managed to, and he's the director of Zelda, he's also the director of Majora's Mask. So like that's what a lot of people say that's like the best one. I'm really interested in how he managed to make it so that it doesn't matter which order you go in. He specifically said in an interview recently that the way that he got it so you could go wherever you want and still do the story is an idea that he's been thinking about for 20 years. So he's been like trying and like noodling this around in his brain, trying to figure this out for 20 years. And he says he finally figured out a way to do it. And that's why they went with this open world system instead of the more linear route that they tend to do in Zelda games. So anyway, I think more stuff to play is good. I personally probably won't pick it up right away. I'm sure that there's some thing way back here in the back of my brain is going to trick me into buying this. But right now, my gut says this game looks huge already.
Yeah.
Buying the DLC at the beginning just seems like a silly thing for me to do because what am I going to do? I'm going to do the same thing I always do. I'm going to start playing a game and I'm going to play probably about 50 or 60% of it, and then something shiny will distract me. Ooh, a nickel, you know? And so I'll find the shiny thing, and then I won't get back to the game, and then I spent money on the DLC for nothing.
This is true.
I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen. Zelda looks incredibly compelling, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I think that the reason I said that I thought you because it's a game that speaks quite sort of straight to the heart of you. But I'm a little bit, if I'm honest, and this is just honest, I'm a little bit disappointed that they've done it. And that's just me being a little bit like, well, I thought Nintendo might be different in that sense that this game doesn't require or need it. I don't think it needs it. From what I've seen and what I know about the game, from what we've talked about, I just don't think it needs it. And it's a real shame that Nintendo, if they give you enough content, people who buy the Switch, I'm probably going to be waiting till holiday till even look at considering getting one. Holiday of this year, because we've got obviously a lot of other stuff to pay for. But just leaves me with a little bit of sadness.
Well, don't be sad, Zap. Let's move on to something that'll make you happy. You like Rocket League, right?
What's Rocket League? I've never heard of it.
Rocket League is super-powered acrobatic. Rocket-powered, super acrobatic power battle cars or something. I can't remember how it goes.
It's got football things, and Blizzard copied it with Lucio Ball, but anyway.
That's right. Basically, you play soccer with rocket-powered cars, and it's awesome. Yeah. It's one of my favorite games forever. That's your ID, RJS. The ID is tricksy and impulsive. I don't know what that means. Do you mean MO?
I think you're just impulsive.
Oh, okay. I am impulsive.
You're like a script.
Right. So, shiny. Okay, I got you. So Rocket League is getting an update to the PS4, and this is going to enable 60 frames per second on the base model PS4 and the PS4 Pro. So that's pretty awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. 4K support along with 60 frames.
What's that?
I'm just saying, read the 4K support with 60 frames per second is really cool.
Well, okay, the 4K support is for the PS4 Pro.
Yeah, of course.
But 60 frames per second, which in that game is really important, I feel like. It's the animation in that game is gorgeous, and I absolutely love playing Rocket League, and I really like that gosh, what's the name of who's the company that makes Rocket League? I forget. He knew it until I asked him, probably.
Thanks. Psych.
Psych, yes.
Psych, yeah.
Something like that. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so this is a developer that I am really rooting for because they have put out they could have stopped. After putting out Rocket League, they could have stopped doing anything with it and just left it alone and raked in a bunch of money, but they added content to it and they didn't charge for it. The only content that they charged for was like the Batmobile skin or the Back to the Future skin, and they added in hockey. They added in basketball, and they did that with at no charge, kind of like how Minecraft did it. Mojang, they've been continually updating the same game for ages, and they haven't charged anybody a dime for it afterwards, and the game's pretty cheap to begin with. I got Rocket League for free through a deal when I bought my Steam controller. I think you also got it for free with your PS4, right?
I got it free with PS4 Plus.
Yeah, with the PS4 Plus. And, these guys have just continually added stuff to their game and made their game better. And now they're going back and adding 60 frames per second. And this is... It's just such a showing of goodwill to their fans. I think that they're awesome, and if there were ways to give them more money, I'm sure that a lot of people would.
Yeah, it's one of those games that really just blew up, And the story of No Man's Sky, sorry, I'm not No Man's Sky. That's coming later. Rocket League is quite sad how they started. No developer would take them on, and
Right.
the only way they got noticed was the fact that Sony said to them, if you want us to take your game, you allow us to have it for free to our PS Plus members. And that's what they did. And they took a gamble in this game that blew up, has its own esports scene, and it's just so much fun. It really is. And you don't need the Batman car, the Back to the Future to do anything. It's just so good. It is just excellent.
That's right. All right, so... Speaking of excellent, maybe, I don't know. The next story, well, you linked it. Let's hear all about it. What's going on here?
Well, as many people know, last year the bane of the podcast, or the word that wasn't ever to be spoken, the phrase was No Man's Sky, and I still have this tiny little bit of hope inside me that one day Sean Murray and Hello Games will get it right. Will bring this space exploration game to console and PC that we all wanted at the time. And so, coming out of news this week, there is meant to be a major update coming to No Man's Sky, which, according to the Daily Star, which is a real great news publication here in the UK, I won't say too much more. We're supposed to be getting new land vehicles are supposed to be coming. Farming supposed to be improved, building mechanics supposed to be improved, mounted guns and vertical boosters to be part of the package. All this sounds wonderful, but are they going to add to the content that's missing? It's kind of like, well, the reason I linked it was not because, oh look, No Man's Sky getting updated, because they're just missing, like, the stuff that they should be putting in, the stuff that was always originally promised. And that's more my argument about it is Sean Murray, you've got a chance, because everyone kind of got over the outrage and the anger and the pain and everything that they caused from literally destroying millions and millions of fans' hopes and dreams that this could be the next Salvation of games. And
it's just a little hyperbolic, man.
Well, that's what they called it. But that's the way that's exactly the way they advertised it. It's the way they gave it to the fans, and that's, there is still this little bit in me that wants it to work, because it's such a great idea.
We might, and just to be fair, we might rant against No Man's Sky or a million things, but we always want everything to succeed, because we want every game to succeed, because that means more games, and it means more gamers.
The idea that there was never one planet the same, or if you found a planet that someone else had found, this concept of what he brought in was incredible. I got on the hype train. And then I was just broken into two. And you can go through all last year's podcasts. If you're listening here for the first time and want to know what we're talking about, subscribe to the podcast and listen back to when I joined the show and when No Man's Sky when it all kicked off. And and I'm completely with Run Jump. I want this game to succeed as much as it possibly can. So if it's a big update, I'm going to keep close eye. It's supposed to be coming in March. We're going to see what the update is supposed to be like. and it could be positive. We could be seeing a complete turnaround. The Division, Destiny, and they're two games that spun it around are now very popular. Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy 14 did it. I mean, they destroyed a world to rebuild theirs. Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is another one that had a bit of a rebuild. There's 5 games I've just listed, and they're very popular. So hopefully one day, maybe, No Man's Sky could be a popular game.
Well, I hope that it succeeds. I'm never going to try it. I'm not interested, even a little. So No Man's Sky, whatever. You keep bringing it back and talking about it, and that's fine with me. I hope it succeeds. I doubt it will, but
I doubt it, but there's a little bit of hope.
Always hold out hope. All right. So PlayStation is taking some things away, and
that's no hope.
I know. You are a huge PlayStation fan, so I'm going to tell you what this is saying. So there's a PlayStation Now service update, and then they said that on August 15th, 2017, we will be discontinuing the service on the following devices: PlayStation 3, hold on, buddy, PlayStation Vita, all 2013, 2014, 2015 Sony Bravia TV models. I didn't know you could do that. All Sony Blu-ray player models and all Samsung TV models. Additionally, 2016 models of Sony Bravia TVs will be discontinued on April 1st, 2017. Just kidding. No, not just kidding. That's because it was April 1st. So the PlayStation Now service on PS3 and Vita, that's really where we're talking about here, is no more as of August. What do you think, man? I know that you are a big fan of your Vita.
I'm a huge fan. Just hand me a nail and a hammer. I'll just stick it in its coffin for everyone else. It's no surprise really that Sony said last year that they were going to stop development for the Vita. They weren't going to stop people publishing games for it and bringing stuff out for it, but their own personal development was going to stop, which is such a shame. I haven't got my Vita hand. I think it's somewhere down there. My Vita against my 2DS, I will still always prefer my Vita over my 2DS. I love my 2DS, and I'm quite glad I'm now getting into the whole Nintendo gaming thing. And I stand by this, and I say it every time the Vita is brought up. If Nintendo had the Vita would outsell everything, because they can market a handheld product. Look at any handheld game console that Nintendo brought out; they've always sold relatively well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they did. That's what they do. The Switch is going to sell very well because they've incorporated something that they do very well, which is to make a handheld console. As much as it is still a home console, it has that handheld element. So, and that's where Sony went wrong. PlayStation TV is another thing. That's a great concept, a great thing, and they just burnt it. They just had this product and they just didn't bother giving it any love or support. And all they did was just basically went, well, you know what? It's out there. That's enough for us. Job done.
It reminds me a little bit of Sega. Like back in the night, I got burned by Sega multiple times. Like I bought the Sega CD. You probably don't even know what that is, but you would take your Sega Genesis and you would slap the Sega CD onto the side of it, and you would play Sewer Shark, and it was terrible. And I got burnt because they put that out, and then they said, this isn't doing so well. Let's make the Sega 32X, which that was the thing where you slap that into the top of your Sega Genesis. They kept having all these add-ons, right? And then then there was the Sega Saturn, which I also bought. And then right after bringing out the Sega Saturn, they were like, this isn't selling so well. Let's do the Sega Dreamcast instead, which again, fantastic console. Didn't sell very well, and then Sega just dropped support for it and went out of the console making business. So that really sounds to me like this is the same thing that Sony's doing. They have their main ship, but all of their lifeboats, they're dropping them off the side of the ship and then shooting holes in the bottom of them.
And here's for anybody who doesn't, that's my Vita. That is my most played console that I've got out of all of it. Except for my PC, but I don't class that as a console. That thing there is amazing. If anybody disagrees with me, take one and look at what's underneath these things, because they're so powerful for a handheld. It's unbelievable. They really are a powerful little console. They're so nice in the hands, like unbelievably nice in the hands. Gorgeous screen, good size screen. Everything about the Vita is perfect, apart from the company that made it. The company that made it needs to wake up. The PSP, which is the Vita's predecessor, was a great console again, and they did support that. They brought out UMD. They brought out a whole new disc, the UMD, which was probably a mistake. For we discussed before about the Switch being cartridge based. This is cartridge based, and I've changed my opinion on cartridge based systems because I know the Vita is a cartridge based system.
Well, I think that Sony also tends to do proprietary nonsense. Like for the Vita, didn't they have proprietary storage cards?
Yeah, that's a bugbear of mine. The storage and how expensive they are. I can't take my. It's been so long before I've actually taken my storage card out. Here it is. It's on camera. If you're wondering what I'm doing, guys, I'm actually showing everyone the Sony PS Vita storage card. This is a self-made. That you have to buy them. That's no size. It's not micro SD. It's not SD. It's a PS Vita SD card. Sony, you're stupid for even thinking that will take off. And these things for 16 gig at a time were so expensive.
It's $40 for one of those right now at GameStop for a 16 gigabyte one.
Yeah, and they're sitting there scratching their heads, going, "Well, I wonder why this didn't sell." Because it's the stuff that you put with it doesn't make any sense. The Vita itself, right? It's got a touchpad on the back. Oh man, you got me going. Touchpad on the back. That's the most uncomfortable place to put a touchpad. It doesn't make any sense because what you've got to do is you've got to go from here to there, which means you lose main control of the actual game. They've got buttons in the corner of the screen, right? There and there. What is the point? Just Sony. If you're going to make something like a Vita and bring out the Vita and give people a handheld console that can compete with Nintendo, support the product all the way through. Don't just dump it halfway through development, because that's what it was. It wasn't developed properly. It wasn't thought through properly. It wasn't even PR'd properly. And now they're basically saying, look, PlayStation Now service, we're just going to end it all for the Vita. PlayStation 3 I can understand. There's no point developing anymore for that, because that system is pretty much it's like the Wii U. You wouldn't continue that when the Switch comes out.
Well, actually, I don't know the guy's name, but the guy who's in charge of Splatoon 2, he said in an interview with, I think it was Time Magazine, that they're not planning on shutting down the servers for the Wii U for quite a long time. He said that they plan on running them indefinitely. Now, to be fair, it's a whole lot cheaper for Nintendo to run the servers for the Wii U than it is for PlayStation to run servers for the PS3, because the Wii U had 13 million total sales. That's very few people out there. So it's not very expensive to keep a couple, I say a couple, it's a ridiculous thing to say, to keep some servers active when, you've got this huge server farm that you're doing for the Switch. I'm sure that it's not very much money to leave a couple running. My only problem is that now the games that this is a problem with paying for an online service, is because now the games that have online access, you're going to lose that. And if the game doesn't have peer-to-peer, then you're beat.
No, if they're clever, they'll do what Sony and Xbox have done. Now, Sony and Xbox obviously have the PS Plus per service, but any games on a previous generational system, you don't charge for their multiplayer. Their multiplayer is still free.
Right, but the thing is that service is no longer there, so their servers aren't there. So that means that PS3 and PS Vita, are they still going to be able to connect to an online game at all? That's what I'm saying.
the Vita's development has pretty much stopped. But they've kept the online access still going.
Right, but
You don't
is
pay
the
for it.
online access going to be taken away in August? That's how I read
Well,
this.
I think this is more just the PlayStation Now. So the PlayStation Now is a streaming service where you can play PlayStation games on your PC. If they're removing the PS Plus, the PS multiplayer service from the Vita, that's a different thing. I don't think they're removing the multiplayer gaming service. Not that there's many multiplayer games on the Vita anyway, or there is, but they're not very good. I don't use my Vita for that anyway. It's more of there's games like Final Fantasy X, like a time ago, Darkest Dungeon, and things like that. So it wouldn't bother me too much if they removed the multiplayer service anyway. But yeah, and I can see chat saying that I'm angry. It's because I'm passionate about it. The Vita was the best thing that ever came into my life, and I really do think, gaming-wise, I really do think it was such a great thing. And after playing my 2DS for the last few weeks, solidly, I've been hitting Pokemon quite hard. I really can see why Nintendo came the handheld market, because this thing here, right? This 2DS, so you've obviously got 3DS, but this 2DS feels so nice in the hand and so comfortable, and everything just fits. And it's like, Sony, if you're going to do another handheld, just let Nintendo do it for you.
I don't think that they're going to do another handheld. I think that they know that they're beat there, and they're going to focus all of their efforts on the PS4 and whatever comes after the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next story. What do we got?
Well, talking of Nintendo, and here's just 2 seconds. I've got an echo in my ears. Is that me or you?
Can
you hear an echo?
I don't hear an echo.
That's fine. Then that must be my end. That's fine. Well, talking of Nintendo and smartphones, guess what you need for voice chat when you buy a Switch? You need a smartphone and the app. That's right, guys. If you want to do voice chat on your Switch, you'll need a smartphone and the Nintendo app, which we did kind of say was bad.
Right. I think that if you have to have the smartphone for voice chat, that is a problem. But Nintendo hasn't actually said this yet.
No, this is coming from the Splatoon 2 news.
Mm-hmm.
And it sheds new light on the app. And it basically says the Nintendo Switch launch brought both excitement and confusion to gamers around the globe. While it was great to see all the new machine details, like its launch title list and all that kind of stuff. Likewise, news that it would require a smartphone app to perform voice messaging was met with desertion. That's correct. Not at least of all, Nintendo failed to share exactly how it would work. Now, we did say we had some reservations about this kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why you would take voice chat from the actual system and then have to have... I mean, it would be like this. This is your Nintendo Switch, and there's your smartphone, and all of a sudden you've got two... It's like, what?
How many years do they think we have?
Yeah, it's like, come on, seriously, Nintendo? I mean, unless the sound is going to come through the smartphone as well. I mean, then you've got battery issues with... I mean, no smartphone has great batteries, let's be honest. So it's carry on with the article. Now a press release concerning shoot 'em up sequel Splatoon 2 sheds a little more light on the Nintendo Switch app will work, if not fully clearing things up. So take this obviously with a grain of salt, please, guys. The link is in the show notes if you want to read this yourself. Splatoon 2 will be compatible with the upcoming Nintendo Switch app for smart devices that enhances online play, reads, and a Nintendo release. The app will connect to the game and allow players to set player appointments with friends who have been added to the Nintendo Switch friends list or via their social media accounts. Right, Facebook. Being able to tap into existing social media accounts and scheduling play sessions sounds great. It shows Nintendo opening up a little, where in the past it questions the family-friendly nature of third-party networks. And relied on frustrating friends codes to connect players. So they've got rid of this friends code system.
Have you ever dealt with the friend code system?
I haven't, but I've heard it's awful.
Oh my God. So I had to have your friend code, and you had to have my friend code, and we had to both type them in order to be friends. And you had to do that for every game, basically. So they didn't have like one friend code. Like we could be friend code or friends through the game, and I could see that you were playing this, but we couldn't interact at all
Yeah.
unless we specifically friended through that game. So that was a horrible disaster, and I'm glad that they're getting rid of that. Go ahead.
But if this article reads, it says the app also allows players to match up with friends that directly in the game or voice chat with them via their smart device. So this tells me, reading this article, that you will need a smart device to use voice chat. During a private battle, players can voice chat with their connected friends when they divided into teams. But once the teams are set, voice chat is switched to communication only between teammates on the same team. So it's very strange because the PS4 and the Xbox PC, you need a microphone and you're good to go. Why, if this is true, why do Nintendo need you to have a smartphone or smart device to have voice comms with team or friends?
Yeah, people have been asking about this for weeks, ever since that January press conference. You know, they made that announcement, but so far they said that there is an app, but the way that they've worded it makes it seem like you have to use the app in order to use voice chat, and they have been dead silent about it. And you know, with the Switch coming out in it's the 16th now, so in
3 weeks.
No, like
2 weeks.
2 weeks basically. With it coming out in 2 weeks, they really ought to clear this stuff up. And I'm starting to think that they're not going to say anything about it until the end of March, because that's when there's the Splatoon 2 test fire, they call it, where they can allow people to. The game doesn't come out then, but they're going to allow people to play it, and it's going to have online functionality. And I mean, it has to have online functionality. It's Splatoon. That's an online shooter. And if they still haven't explained it, like people are, but this is what Nintendo does. Nintendo does this all the time. They are incredibly tight-lipped and super secretive. They are a lot like Apple, but Apple is so much better at messaging than Nintendo is. So here's what I think. I think that one of 3 things is happening here. Number 1, they do not have a good reason for this, and they know it, and that's why they're so tight-lipped about it. Number 2, they have a very good reason for this, and for some reason, they're not willing to share that yet. That's classic Nintendo. They may have a really good reason for this, and they just don't want to explain themselves until they are ready. And our backlash, our you know, when they announced it and their announcement was met with derision, they were like, oh man, we really have got to work on our messaging here and figure this out. And they don't do anything out in the open. They're very, very tight-lipped, and so they're not going to do it. They're not going to tell us what's up. Or the third option is that the app is one of another option. So it's just like, you don't have to have the app for voice chat, because for crying out loud, Hori has they make accessories for Nintendo consoles. I'm sure that they do it for other stuff too. They have headphones with microphones built in for sale that are officially licensed. So that makes me think about, okay, I guess maybe that there will be voice chat built into the console, and they're just also giving us voice chat through the phone. I don't know what's going on here.
No, you just want Nintendo as a company to come out and be honest with you, because the longer you leave something like this, it makes fans very skeptical, and that can it won't harm sales. I mean, there's no way you can harm the sale of this thing. This thing is moving like a train, you know. But at the same time, it's going to put, you know, buyers like me who enjoy multiplayer games, and Eskimo says in chat, so you're going to pay for access to multiplayer, yet you need an additional device to talk to people when you're playing multiplayer with. That's what it sounds like currently, because we don't know. We don't know for certain. I've seen the Switch and the microphone jack and all that sort of stuff. I'm concerned, but at the same time, I'm hoping by the time we get Splatoon 2, we're gonna, or by the time the beta test comes for Splatoon 2, we're gonna need to know. We're gonna need to know. Luckily, they leave themselves on a little bit of a lifeline because Splatoon's not coming out as a launch title. They might even drop the whole app thing. That might not come with, they may not do it.
No, they'll do it. They'll stick with they are a company that sticks to their guns. I'll tell you that. I mean, think about it. Splatoon 1, and I railed against Nintendo for this, does not have voice chat at all. There is no voice chat in Splatoon 1. If you want voice chat, you're going to be using Discord. And that sucks, but Nintendo stuck with it. Like, they have been dragged kicking and screaming into the voice chat market. So I don't really get why they're doing this. I think that they have a good reason for it, and I think that we're just going to have to wait and see. And if this is a deal breaker for you, I totally understand why this would be a deal breaker for you. For me, not a deal breaker, because most of the time, I don't want to talk to those morons. Like, I only want to talk to my morons. And you know where I'm talking to my morons? On Discord.
This is true. I get that. I get that. But still, Nintendo, just do what everyone else does and just put the voice chat in the damn console. Because that's just the normal thing. I don't want my smartphone going off at the same time. I don't need it. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. And I've watched quite a few different videos and listened to podcasts of people who are saying, well, maybe they're doing it because of this or because of that, freeing up RAM so that the system can perform better. There's a lot of reasons that they may or may not do it, but until they tell us, we're just sitting here speculating. And while I know that you say that you don't think it's hurt the sales because the thing's moving like a freight train. I guarantee that there are people out there who would have bought it who are now not buying it because Nintendo's not telling them what they're buying. And I am a huge Nintendo fan, but when they make mistakes, I'm going to point them out. And I think that this might be a mistake. It's definitely a mistake keeping quiet.
Yeah. We'll agree on that one.
Eskimo Princess says this console costs $300, but I think the total cost after games, accessories, services, etc., is going to cost you well over $500. I totally disagree there. All that stuff it's extra. It's all optional stuff. Nobody needs to buy all that stuff. You can get by perfectly fine buying a Switch and a game, and that's fine. I mean, Xbox One doesn't come with a game. PS4 doesn't come with a game unless you're getting a bundle. All right, same with Xbox One. My 3DS doesn't come with a game unless I buy it in a bundle. Nintendo's just not selling bundles because they figure you could just buy the game that you want. And people are like, well, now I have to buy a Pro Controller. No, you don't have to buy a Pro Controller. You can just use the controllers that come with the system. The system comes with 2 controllers. That hasn't happened since the Super Nintendo. So I think that the idea of the price of the Switch, I think that it's getting a little short shrift there. There's another reason. One thing that they could do is sell the game or sell the system without the dock. If they sold the system without the dock, like the dock would be the dock bundle or the TV bundle. I did a whole video about this on YouTube. The one that comes with a dock would be the TV bundle, and sell that one for $300. Actually, sell that one for $310, right? And then sell it without the dock for $250. And then sell the dock separately for $90. People would go to that $310 one. They wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, of course.
And they wouldn't be complaining about the price. And a lot of people are complaining about the price, I think, because they believed the rumors. There were so many rumors about the Switch, again, because Nintendo's tight-lipped, that when people were posting, it's going to be $250, they were pulling numbers out of their butts. It's going to be $250. And then when it turned out not to be $250, everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe how expensive it is. And if you go back and listen to old podcasts, you're going to hear me say, I think $250 is too low for this. because I want to pay for something that's good. You can have there's three things here you can have. You can have it cheap, you can have it powerful, and you can have it what was the third thing? Oh, a long battery life. You can probably get two of those things. You can't get three. And I think that $300 is a fair price for the Switch. And Eskimo Princess says that accessories are money. But yeah, the accessories are expensive, but they're optional. You don't have to have them.
You know, I think we both agreed on when we did the Switch reveal podcast that we agreed that the price was fair, but the accessories were a bit extortionate in places.
Yes.
You know, so you don't need like you said, the console comes with two controllers. You know, there's probably Kodiak Moonwolf says GameStop will probably have their own bundles. I know Game, which is our main shop in the UK, often makes their own bundles with the console, and there's a Zelda bundle that you can get from Game. I don't know exactly how much it is, but that's the one I would get. I would get Zelda because when Nintendo, and this may be completely different for you, but when someone says Nintendo, I don't think of going online and playing multiplayer games. That's Sony or PC or Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I think of great RPGs, strategy games that suck you in for hours on end, and you're playing on your own. That's what Nintendo says to me. Take Pokemon. I've even played some Fire Emblem Fates. They're games that I play on my own. They're games that I sit down for an hour and I sit down and play it on my own. And that's what Nintendo to me has always been. So, you know, this Switch thing, I think we're going to have to probably do a podcast after it's released to, you know, do a special podcast to really do the feedback from the way it's sold and stuff like that. I think the Switch is, over the next couple of weeks, going to be a lot of our news. And I think that we'll have to see it, you know. I'm not going to break a Switch, right, Eskimo? I wouldn't. Wow, I mean, it's more likely for me to break my Vita. No, actually, no, I'd break a Switch first before my Vita.
All right, well, that's
we'll
it. Sorry, that's it for the main headlines. Let's move on to the lightning round. We're gonna try and go faster because we're going long. It seems like. And the first story is one I picked just because I knew that you would want to see this, and that is that he's very excited. Crash Bandicoot has a release date, and that release date is, drum roll, June 30th this year. Pretty excited.
Bye. I'm going to get my pre-order in.
Can you pre-order it yet?
I don't know. If I can, I will do, because I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so good. And I like what Activision is saying. There's another link I posted, which is obviously their stuff from today. And it says they just wanted to, they waited till now to tell us the date. Very Bethesda at E3 last year. They were basically waiting for the product to be almost finished and they could hit the schedule for us to then deliver. So that's the first time I've ever praised Activision. I feel really dirty now.
Oh, yes. No. You'll see Zap crying in the shower later. All right, what's next on the lightning round?
It's no boxes for Halo Wars 2. They're dropping the physical release. The physical release is cancelled in North America after people pre-ordered the physical release.
So, oh well, weird. Well, okay, yeah, so was it official pre-orders, or was it just like GameStop saying we're gonna do our pre-order?
I think it was kind of a mix of both. They're basically saying that they're not going to be doing it in North America. It's only in North America. I don't find it weird that they've cancelled like the box, but they've just cancelled it in North America.
Wait, so you'll still be able to buy it in a box where you live?
Yeah, exactly. But
so
apparently, because we prefer boxes over here than you do. How weird is that? That's like I can understand them cancelling it, like, because people do like to buy downloadable games. But me, if I'm getting something, I like my box on certain games. And I was looking at getting a box edition of this because Halo Wars is something I completely missed.
Wait, you have an Xbox One?
Say again?
You have an Xbox One?
No, you get it on PC. It's coming to PC, Windows 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't understand why they cancelled it only in North America. Well, they've said their answer is because they think that boxed editions sell better in Europe and um, Asia and all them than it does in North America.
That's not the reason. You want to know the reason? I think I know the reason. It's
Go
because
on.
nobody buys things from the Windows Store.
Yeah,
Nobody
that
buys things from the Windows Store, and they know that Halo Wars is going to be like a big deal for them. So they're like, I know, we'll finally get somebody to buy something off the Windows Store. I think
yeah.
that's the real reason. I could be wrong.
It's just bonkers. I'm looking forward to the game. The game looks amazing, but yeah, there you go. It gets that. That's our podcast. One for today. Okay, what's the next one? Let's move on.
That's terrible. Oh my god.
It's so
Why is
bad.
no box?
It's
Although
like
to be fair, it's a PC game. I don't buy a box. I haven't bought a box PC game in years.
but this is what they said, and I will earlier this month, you may have heard that we were partnering with our friends at THQ Nordic for worldwide availability of the physical retail version of Halo Wars 2 for the Windows 10 PC. So you remember, guys, if you listen to this and go, "Oh, this sounds good," you need Windows 10. You can't play this if you have Windows 7 or 8.
That's okay.
You need
Windows 10 is
10.
fine.
Yeah. Since then, our retail plans have shifted, and Microsoft has made a decision to focus the release physical retail versions to Europe only. So, sorry, I lied. Not in Asia. Only Europe.
Damn it!
Only in Europe can you. Yep, sorry, I lied. THQ Nordic is a great partner, and they are working with us to ensure that transition remains smooth for our customers. Developer 343 Industries said the message was posted on the Halo Waypoint, which is obviously their website. So you can buy it worldwide digitally, but you can't get, it's just bonkers. But it would be official pre-orders because the game comes out in a week.
Weird. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in that game, but you like real-time strategy, so you're going to I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah, and the trailer they did at E3 was amazing. The music was incredible.
And everybody who played the first Halo Wars has said that it's a fantastic game.
They said it was a surprise when it released. They were like, "Halo, why are you doing?" And then they were like, "Oh."
Well, yeah, I mean, they looked at it and they were like, how are you going to play a real-time strategy game on a controller? And apparently Microsoft or 343 Studios figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to seeing what you have to say about it. My wife is doing this to me, so I was going to squirt her with this bottle. Oh, the bottle's invisible. That's cool.
If it's anything like any game that I enjoy, I'll break controllers.
All right. Speaking of games that are going to make you break controllers, how's that for a segue? Now, have you ever heard of Tower of Guns?
No.
I've never heard of Tower of Guns either, but apparently the developer behind Tower of Guns is making a new game called Mother Gunship, which is a stupid name. But it is a combination of a first-person shooter and a bullet hell game. So, are you aware of the bullet hell genre?
Not really, but I'm now watching the trailer, and this looks like Doom.
So the bullet hell genre basically are those games where it's like a side scroller or a vertical side scroller where you're flying a ship and there's a million bullets on the screen that you're trying to avoid while you shoot at something. Well, somebody basically what they did is they said, let's take a let me hit play so people can see this. They said, let's take a game or a first-person shooter and make the bullets slower so that you have the ability to dodge them, and then make lots and lots of bullets for you to have to dodge. And I guess it's got like a very in-depth customization thing for your guns in the game. And it looks really fun. And this is definitely something that I'm going to check out in the future. And I saw this and I was like, well, I already had something on the wish list, so I wanted to just add this and talk about it because it looks like a lot of fun. Have you seen the video yet?
I've seen the video. Do you know what this game is?
What?
This game is a controller breaker game. This is what this is. that game will induce me to break keyboards, mouses, controllers, Switches, and 2DSs alike. That game looks amazing. Yes, let me have it.
And it's coming out for let's see. It just came up on the screen, and then I went past it.
PS4, Xbone, and Steam.
Xbone. Don't say Xbone. Who are you? Who is this guy?
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm in a war with them. I can't help it. Xbox. It's coming out for all three. It's coming out for all three, which is cool. Really, really cool. I bet that's going to be really cool on the PC.
Yeah, that's a game you want to play with a death counter.
What, for my controllers? Yeah.
Yes, a controller counter. A little icon for each controller that you've broken playing the game, like just filling up the screen like football players when they make a big play, they get like the stickers to go on their helmets and stuff. I'm sorry, American football. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks really cool. I'm looking at it on Steam, and I've just added it to my wish list right now, so I'll keep an eye on that myself. It looks
Awesome.
really good.
All right, what's our last story?
It's about Pokemon Go.
Oh man, I love Pokemon Go.
I reinstalled it for the third time the other day, and remembered why I stopped playing. But apparently they're adding 80 new monsters to catch this week, which is cool. Which means you can now, I think it's like Gen 2 stuff are all going in, and which is really cool. They're reducing the cost of stuff. And reports are, I know it's not on here, there is a report that I caught and I forgot to link it. They're redoing the battle system. The battle system is now being redone. Thanks for that.
Sorry, I was clicking on a video to put in the background, and it wasn't YouTube. YouTube remembers that I've muted things.
They are apparently bringing the battle system that everyone knows and loves to Pokemon Go.
This week?
Along with the... No, not this week.
Oh, okay.
They're now trying to implement it. Apparently trying to work it into the system.
How hard could it be? They already have a system built. All they have to do is put it in and just say, do you want to fight this guy?
Yeah, and apparently the random battle stuff has been looked at. So it's on my phone currently. I might go out for a walk this weekend with the kids, and we'll give it a go. Talking of Pokemon, there is a Pokemon game that I have been spending too much time on. That's Pokemon Duels.
Wait, what? Pokemon Duels? I think I have that installed on my phone. That's a phone game, right?
Yeah, that's the one where you've got the figures and you have to get to the other sides. Yeah, that game is just sucking the life out of me. I haven't spent a penny on it, but I'm loving it. It's so good.
No, I didn't really get into it. But then again, I don't like games like that.
That's fair.
I didn't get into Fire Emblem. I didn't get into the Pokemon Duels. The game that I really get into on mobile is Pokemon Go, and I haven't played it because I live in hell, where it's freezing all the time. I'm constantly cold, and it's just too cold out to enjoy Pokemon Go. So basically, Pokemon Go is a summer game for me, because for those of you that missed it, Zap did a spit take. I'm sorry, man. But it's so cold, and like we go to the park in the summertime and we go and catch Pokemon with my wife and my son and myself, and we have a blast, but it's just too cold and we just don't play it in the wintertime. And so we've got these 80 new Pokemon that are coming out this week, and I probably am not going to I'm probably not going to go play it because it's just too cold out. If only they could find a way to control the weather.
I just snorted coffee. Thanks.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, well, let's make sure somebody please clip that for us, because that's great.
Is it really?
Well, it's great for me. Listen, let's talk about things that let me just look at the poll before I do my segue here. Let's talk about other things. Oh my goodness, it's a tie. I was going to say let's talk about things that aren't great for me in case you won, or were great for me, but it was a tie. So this is the part of the show where Zap and I each take 5 minutes to talk about a game that we think everybody should play. And last week I picked Diablo 3, and he picked Metal Gear Solid 5, and it was a tie, 50-50 for the votes. So yay, both of us. Let's talk about what we got this week. I know I hate ties, but that's okay. Let's talk about games that we've got that we think everybody should check out this week. I added to the list a game that I think very few people probably have played, and that is Ziggurat. Ziggurat is a first-person shooter. It is incredibly high speed. Like, it's as high speed, maybe faster than the new Doom game. Really quick, and basically you have like these magic staffs and stuff, and it's procedurally generated levels. I think I've talked about it on the stream before, but I don't think that I've ever picked it as the oh, what's the word I'm looking for? As the comparison, the game off thing. I don't think I've ever selected it for that, but it's really great. It's $15. I got it when it was much cheaper, but definitely cool because every time you play, you get a new map, and the map changes. So check out Ziggurat. You're gonna have a fun time with it. What did you bring?
I've heard of it. It's very cool. It's very cool.
What game did you bring to us this week?
I picked a great game by Warner Brothers, and it's on a movie franchise. It's Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, and this game is fantastic and has one of the best systems out there. As in the I can never remember what it's called, but where you kill the generals of the army that you're going after, the Orc army. No, they're not orcs; they're the other creatures that
Uruk-hai.
Idiots as orcs. Yeah, them. It's a fantastic game. They built on the Batman system, Batman games, and they just built and built and built, and they brought out Mordor, and it's stunning. It's a great looking game. It's got a great story, and a lot about this game that is good. You know, there is so much good about it, and it is really really good. And I believe it's cheap at the minute. I mean, the Game of the Year edition, so you get all the DLC, everything. In England is $15.99, so it's probably about $20 out there for you.
Yeah.
It's super cheap at the minute. So if you haven't played Shadow of Mordor, and it's something that you've been meaning to, it's now the best time because it's a long game. There's a lot of hours in this, and you can spend more time killing the Orc-hai than you can doing the story. So yeah, go out and get it.
Awesome. That's it for Game Off. I'm going to create a poll here in a second. Oh, there's audio. Didn't mean for that. Yeah, I know. It was kind of scary sounding, huh?
Yeah, it was.
So I'll create a poll in a second. Why don't you, while I'm making the poll, tell us about your wish list?
My wish list is something that released very recently, as in the 26th of January. Now, everyone knows I'm a sucker for a JRPG. And this one is no different. This is Tales of Berseria. Berseria?
I think so.
And I believe it's one of the Tales games. I believe they're very long-standing JRPGs. They go from the Vita, and they are Vita again, PlayStation. But what scares me is it's a Namco game, Bandai Namco, which created the original Demon Souls. So this thing might be super hard. Which is quite cool, but it looks great. It's a JRPG with some amazing looking graphics. I want to play this game so badly, and I'm torn between there's so many games coming out in the next month or so. I mean, obviously you've got the Switch coming, you got Mass Effect and Andromeda, you got Horizon Zero Dawn, but there's this. And this game speaks to me more than any other game out there at the minute. It's JRPG. It's got some really wacky looking characters.
The Tales games have a combat system that I don't think you'll like, though. Have you played the Tales games before? Because they don't have a turn-based combat system.
No, it's an action-based combat. I don't mind it if it suits the game. My stance on turn-based combat or combat system in JRPG with Final Fantasy. Action-based combat doesn't suit Final Fantasy because it's not what I'm used to. I'm very picky and a bit like, no, don't change something that works. But if I play a game and it's an action-based combat and it works for the game, then fair enough, and I'll get into it. But I'm just picky about my Final Fantasies. That's just me being a little bit like, you know, you can't spoil a good recipe, and that's what they did with 15. Anyway, that's going way off track. this looks cool. It really does, and the art style looks fantastic. Very anime art style.
Mm-hmm.
I want this game. I want to play it. I want to dive into. I've never played a Tales game. That's the other thing. I've seen Tales games. I've seen them on offer on the Vita. Always missed picking them up, and kind of wish I do. And I think this is a chance, especially if you stream something like this. Stick it in Japanese as well, because apparently when you play JRPGs, you should play them in Japanese, and they just sound hilarious. So,
They do, because they yell like everything. There's no like, hey, how's it going? It's like, you know, they're always like really yelling, the voice actors. It's awesome.
That's it. So that's what I added to my wish list. It's on there. It is expensive. It's £30 or £40, which is $60. So but a JRPG, if it's got 150 hours of gameplay, it's well worth that kind of money. You're getting your bang for your buck. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully soon getting a hold of this.
Yeah, you can just, so if you want to, this is just a PSA. There's a website called How Long to Beat, and you can type in the name of your game what was it, Tales of Berseria. I probably spelled it wrong. And if I click on that, it says 47 hours for the main story. Main story and extras 82.5 hours. If you're a completionist, I want you to make a guess. Or did you look?
Yeah, already there. 231 hours.
231
Give me that now. Give me that now. That's me all over.
Holy crap!
I get lost. Oh man.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so my game that I added this week to my wish list is Morphight. Now, I'm curious as to what's going to happen here, because this is a game that was greenlit. It's under Steam Greenlight, and it is a Metroid. They said that it's inspired by Metroid Prime, which, if you are not aware, Metroid is a side-scrolling game. Metroid Prime was when Nintendo said, hey, you know that side-scrolling game you love? We're going to make it a first-person shooter. And everybody lost their minds and said, you're crazy, Nintendo. This is a terrible idea. And then, sure enough, it was amazing and awesome, and everybody loves Metroid Prime, and they cannot get enough of it. In fact, if you can get your hands on Metroid Prime, you should definitely check it out. Now, this has a very stylistic, what's the word I'm looking for, graphical quality. And I think that that's on purpose, because they know that it's probably low budget, and it looks low budget. It very much reminds me of, oh gosh, what's that game that we played together that was like Dark Souls?
Necropolis.
Necropolis, yeah. Yeah, the art style reminds me of Necropolis. While looking low budget, I also think it looks really cool.
It's an art style that is very cool.
Yeah, I really like that art style. Currently, I don't know how much it's going to be. It's not, we don't have a price for it yet. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a fun game. I really like the creepy music that you heard earlier was the trailer for this was started playing. So I like the idea of this creepy environment where you're just all by yourself and there's no one there to help you, and very Metroid-like. And that's how Metroid games feel. They feel isolating and claustrophobic. And I think that this, if it has a tenth of that, it's going to be a fun game. And my guess is this will probably be pretty cheap as well.
If it doesn't get squashed by Greenlight going.
Well, here's the thing. It's a Greenlight game, so when Greenlight goes away, nobody needs approval. They can just pay the fee.
I think this will kind of skip that, because it's already been greenlit, so it's already in the process of being pushed.
Yeah, so maybe they won't have to pay the fee. That makes sense.
No, this is it. So
right. All right. Speaking of this is it. That is. You had one more. You want to do one more test? So for those of you that weren't here earlier, Zap is testing my ability to give say a name of a place in England.
Yep.
He's going to paste it into chat, and I'm going to try and pronounce it. And so far, I'm 0 for 2. The suspense.
This one's an easy one.
This one's an easy one. It's
easy
probably got
I've lost the chat
47
box.
letters.
Here we go. Okay, so the third one and final one is have a go.
Staffordshire. Staffordshire.
Yeah, he got it.
1 for 3, 33%, baby.
Yeah, we'll test you. I've got some real difficult ones for you next week.
All right, that's a fun little game. All right, so speaking of games, this is a podcast about games, and that's it for the show this week. If you want to support this podcast about games, you can do so by giving us a review on iTunes. That's the number one biggest way to help support us is you give us that review. We might end up in the new and noteworthy, and suddenly we've got a lot more people listening. But we are very lucky that we already have some people that came by to hang out with us today, and we really appreciate that. So if any of you guys want to be part of the show, you can do so by sending us an email to runjumpstomp@gmail.com, or you can call 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on air. And you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at RunJumpStomp. And if you're interested in watching us record the show live, we do it every Wednesday. Today's an outlier because today's Thursday, but we do it every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Zap and I record live on Twitch at twitch.tv/RunJumpStomp. Zap, where is it that people can track you down and watch you stream and talk about things on the internet?
I am on Twitch at DJ Zap. Same with Twitter at DJ Zap, and on YouTube at Django Zap.
That is it for us today. You guys stay awesome. Thanks for coming by, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It broke again. I don't know what to do about this. Every single time. There we go. I didn't even do anything. It just stopped.
Oh, this just came out now. That's rude.
What? What happened?
We might have to wait. A retailer has accidentally sent out a Nintendo Switch 2 weeks ahead of launch.
What?
A retailer has accidentally sent a Nintendo Switch out 2 weeks ahead of launch.
What's the link? I want to see the link.
I don't know how true this is. It just literally popped up on my Twitter. From GameSpot, so we know what they're like. NeoGAF user Hip Hop the Robot today posted a picture on the forum claiming they had been sent a system early. To prove this, they've since published a video showing the initial setup process from the system.
Wow.
As well as the main menu settings, we'd gotten a Oh dear.
Huh.
Oh,
where's the...
Someone's getting fired.
Who was the retailer?
It doesn't say. It just says a retailer. So that's incredible. Yeah, that's if you watch the video, that's him recording it. There's a video there.
Well, I'm trying to find the video, and I get a stupid ad.
Wow. It says that there's 25.9 gig free on the system.
Okay, that's not the video. Where's the video?
Your video will resume in about 10 seconds.
Huh?
No, go back. Hang on. Let me relink it to you. Click on the link again.
Okay.
Hang on. And it's the first video that's embedded in the on that article. Don't and literally don't do anything. But you see there, right in the middle. I can see what you're looking at. The delay is awful. That should be a video there.
It's not a video.
Is it not? It's a video of mine. Let me see if I can actually get. Where did he post the picture to the forum?
Somebody just posted it in Discord.
Okay.
Let me find it. Here we go.
So there you go. Someone completely and utterly. That's not good.
Hold on. I want to mute this. Oh God! Could the guy not use a tripod?
Wow! Complaints about tripod confirmed. There you go.
Searching for networks.
Do you wish they'd sent yours out 2 weeks early?
Well, boy, this is convincing.
I can't see it being a fake. I mean, that's
yeah, that's the real deal.
That's
Huh.
the Switch, all right.
Oh
There
man,
you go, guys.
I saw animated GIF today of somebody sliding the Switch into the dock,
Yeah.
and they had left the kickstand out, and the kickstand just flipped off and broke.
No
They like I
way.
can't. You would be so angry if you did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
this
still
is
on
real.
like,
This has got to be. I mean, I'm sure that there's possibility that it could be fake, but you'd think that if they were going to fake it, then they'd post it on YouTube so that they could get a bunch of ad revenue or
clickbait.
something.
Yeah. I mean, this is I mean, we learned the system apparently has 25.9 gig of free space, which is, I can't stand when companies say it's 32 gig of space or 64 gig because it never truly is that. It's
Well, you
always.
got to have room on there for the
Oh yeah, you got to have room for the OS. Don't
right.
get me wrong. Tell me it's gonna be 25 gig. Don't tell me, and 7 gig safe for. That's just me, Dicky. But you can have up to 2 terabyte size of micro SD card. That's gonna be. Hopefully they're not that expensive. Like 2 terabyte micro SD card.
Yeah, you're not getting a 2 terabyte micro SD card, but you can spend $40 and get like no, I think you can spend $80 and get like a 256 gigabyte. But I personally, I'm not interested in getting SD card for mine. I'm just gonna get cards,
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
cards. I'm just gonna get the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just gonna get cartridges because sorry, I got distracted by the video. Don't do that. I'm gonna get cartridges because they don't take up any space.
No, that's it. That's what I've done with my Vita. I have 16 gig memory card. I have a few games installed on it, but I have cartridges for. Same with my 2DS. It comes with a 4 gig card. What good is that in this day and age? But
Oh,
there you
look
go.
at that!
Well,
It's got like a little multitasking. If you double tap the home button, it slides off to the right. Here, let me play that again at the very end there. He double taps the home button, and his UI slides off to the right. And
that's cool.
oh dang it! Yeah, it slides off to the right, and you can select which app you want to run. That's interesting.
Oh man. I
Well,
want a Switch and can't afford one. Cries. You're the same boat as me, Kodiak. I would like one. I'm gonna wait when the collection is bigger.
well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to leave this stuff in for the end. I'm not cutting this.
Yeah. Because this is. I couldn't believe it. I followed GameSpot on my Twitter account the other day. It got me a free code to Gwen, the card game.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, and then all of a sudden they've posted some really good new stuff actually recently. So it's really cool. I've just had another one which is Hearthstone. I just uninstalled Hearthstone from everywhere, and now I have to check out the new Year of the Mammoth. So
Why are you always uninstalling things?
because then then I have to reinstall Hearthstone to play again. You see, then it's the ache of having to reinstall it. I can't do that. And I'm trying to come off Hearthstone. I'm in cold turkey Hearthstone.
Oh, okay. Hey, there's one more thing that I wanted to do, and I'd want to do this every week. Is sometimes I have trouble coming up with a show title.
Okay.
So, can we get suggestions in chat for a show title for episode 65?
I think what was it? Where has it gone? What did you say? Hang on, I missed it. Spit take.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Well, that's it, guys. We're out of here. Thanks for coming by, and we got a little overtime on the old Spit Take episode.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming for a little while, so send everyone my way. But I need a quick break because I need to buy a break.
That's right. Episode 66 next week. Watch out, Jedi. Bye, all.
Cool.
See you, Zap.
Bye.
All right.